Hi there, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Kumi. I am so glad you're here. Today I'll be showing you how to cut and stitch this sleeve. It is often referred to as a cowl sleeve, while some people refer to it as a draped sleeve. I would like to point out that this sleeve is not half as difficult as it appears. I hope this helps you calm down. So the first thing you will need to do is to draft your basic sleeve. You will need a pattern paper for this, but if you do not have, you can make use of any piece of fabric you don't need anymore. So this is me marking my forearm, and then I'll proceed to mark my preferred sleeve length. Everything I did on this side, I'll go ahead to the other side and repeat the process. And then I will connect together using my ruler. But before I do that, I would like to say that if you would want your sleeve to be fitted at your elbow area, you can indicate the length of your elbow right there. I do not want that, so I'm just going to ignore and connect my markings together with my ruler. I want to believe you all are quite familiar with how to draft basic sleeve, so I'm just going to brush through it. The what I'm doing right now is to put the roundness of my sleeve, and then I just added my preferred sewing allowance. I'll come here and put the half of my armhole measurement, and then I'll connect all the way to the length of the sleeve, and then I'll slant it upward. The next thing I will do is to um, indicate the midpoint of this slanting, and then I'm just going to curve it. But unlike our usual basic sleeve, where the front will be deeper than the back, this is not going to there is not going to be any difference between the front and the back. In this case, it's just going to be like this. Do you understand? Ordinarily, I would have made another marking right there, but I'm going to leave it. We won't need it for this sleeve. So I would also like to say that if you are using a piece of fabric, just give it a good press. And if you are using a pattern paper, do well to fold the midpoint very well, just as a form of indication that that's the midpoint of your basic sleeve. Go ahead and cut. The next thing I will do is to indicate how deep I want my drapings to be. So I'm going to use, say, 9.5. You can use 9, you can use 8, depends on how deep you want it to be. So I'm just going to connect it straight like this. So I want to be sure that my um, ruling is straight. So I'm just confirming it with my tape. So what I have right here is 6 1/4 at my original marking. So I'm coming to this other side, and then I also have 6 1/4 of an inch, so it means my hand was straight. The next thing I will do is to slit it open. I'm going to slit the sleeve open right at the center, and I will stop at that 9.5 inches that I marked the other time. The next thing I will do is to cut like this. I'm going to cut almost to the end, but I'm going to just leave about 1/4 inch behind. If you leave half inch behind or more, it will be difficult for you to spread like this. That's why you have to just leave just a tiny piece at the edge. So you spread to the extent it depends on how wide you want your drippings to be. So that's what we determine how wide your spreadings will be. You can reduce it like this, and you can make it even wider if you want your drippings to be full. So I want mine to be full, so I'm going to spread. You can see that it's really wide. So if you want yours smaller, you can reduce it. Well, by the time you see the outcome of this tutorial, it will help you determine how wide to spread yours. So I'll be using a transparent tape as against our usual masking tape, because I want it to be transparent so I can see the right place to cut. I just want everything to be accurate. go ahead and tape every flexible area that can easily adjust, thereby making your pattern inaccurate. That ruler is too small, so I'm just going to get a longer one. The aim is to rule to connect one edge to the other. Can you see? And then I'll go ahead and trim. If I had used a masking tape, I would not have been able to see precisely the edge. It would not have made a serious damage to the sleeve sha. I just want it to be accurate. I'm just going to proceed to cut like this. This place will be straight. So this is what we have. So this is what we'll be placing on our main fabric to cut the sleeve out. Can you see? Here is our fabric. It's a soft crepe. Um, as you all know, your marking is supposed to be done on the wrong side of your fabric. So this is the wrong side. Although there really is no much difference, but if you are working with a fabric that has wrong and right side, do well to do all your markings on the wrong side. So I folded in about 10 inches. That is because I don't want the I don't want to have to think of stitching or hemming the upper part of the sleeve. I don't want to have to think of to risk the rough part of my sleeve showing, on and on. I want it to be that even when the draping falls, it will still be the right side of my sleeve that I will be seeing. So that's why I folded 10 inches in. Do you understand? Saying that this sleeve will not require a lining. I just gave that place a notch to enable me cut through. That is what I'm doing. I'm just going to follow the pattern carefully. I'm left with one more side to trim. I'll come to the side and trim off carefully. We are going to leave the upper part as folded as it is. We won't be slitting it open. That will forfeit our plan of folding it. So remember, so I placed this pink material on the blue fabric with about quarter of an inch. So that means my sleeve length has reduced by about quarter of an inch. So if you do not mind your sleeve reducing in length by quarter of an inch, you can just leave it. But if you do mind, you can do well to return the quarter of an inch before cutting it. Actually, I should have told you this earlier. So I'll go ahead and fold this. You can also overlock it. So here we go. I have stitched it like this, and then going to lay it flat before flipping it over for our final stitching. This is the wrong side. I'm just going to secure with my pin and a couple of other places. I think I'll need a pin right here. I'll come here and pin as well. Then come to this upper part and stitch it just a little. So I've stitched it, and this is what I have. So this is our drapings, and this is our armhole. So the next thing I will do is to just place my measurement right here. Remember, I give it 1 inch sewing allowance. So I'm just going to mark right here. So I'm just using imaginary measurement. So let's say this is the sewing allowance that we have at our armhole region. I'm just going to connect it to the roundness of my sleeve. I'll go over to my machine and stitch. When I'm done, I will overlock the edges. So I have stitched, I'm just going to overlock it. Here we go. I've overlocked. The next thing is to fold the hem of the sleeve. I've folded it. This is what we have, and our sleeve is ready. Trust me. That's also, if you have basic bodies you would love to attach this to, your sleeve is all ready. So this is the armhole. You can see it's open. I do not have a basic body, so I'm just going to wear it on my mannequin for you to see. With this, we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you watch to this extent, thank you so much. Do well to leave for me in the comment section your experience watching this tutorial. Try yours. If you need clarification as well, you can also leave me comment in the comment section. Do well to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Till I see you in my next tutorial. Bye.